Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. We are here again at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. You see behind me, they've got the races on TV. You can come here every day, but today, of course, for Saratoga Racetrack Day. But they've got all sorts of other races that you can place some bets on and do the rest in Saratoga. Obviously, this is the last week of Toga. The last day will be next Monday and Labor Day. But you got to come out to the Phoenix Sports Restaurant after work, grab a great meal. They've got awesome beer on tap and in the bottle. And they have all-you-can-eat spaghetti and meatballs, all-you-can-eat steak, and all-you-can-eat boneless wings at several different special rates. And when you're here, again, as I've mentioned, go over and place a couple of bets at the OTB. The Phoenix Sports Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter. I want to get into Josh Allen again today and the Buffalo Bills, and they had just a train wreck of a game against the Bengals in the third preseason game. And what's funny is a lot of the people who were super on board with Josh Allen starting at quarterback in week one for the Buffalo Bills are now all of a sudden saying, well, no way. He's super flawed. Yeah, the O-line was bad, but man, it was more on Allen and this and that. I think there couldn't be more of an irresponsible take on that game. I didn't see the game play for play, but I saw plenty late. I saw plenty highlights, and I trust the people who watch the who watch the game tape and all that. I mean, Josh Allen, number one, had no time to throw. And here's the other thing that really bothers me. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, I'm still all in and still trust the process. I still believe in pretty much everything the Buffalo Bills are currently doing. But the thing is, they named him the starter to see how he would react for a full week, knowing he was going to start. It was almost like a game preparation in the regular season and all that. Let's see what now he has to offer in that specific role instead of coming off the bench and then, relieving Nathan Peterman, for example. I get that premise, but here's the thing. If you're going to do that, to me, the Buffalo Bills should have had more of a game plan in terms of consistent linemen in spots. They did not have the same offensive unit consecutively in the entire game. Guys were moving all over the place, multiple centers, left, right, up, down, and all the rest. LaShawn McCoy also didn't play. So you have so many things going on in that football game that go against Josh Allen. Now, I, for one, am not any less into this guy than, since the Bengals game. I'm still all in on Allen. I would still start him in week one. I would still allow him to start the final preseason game against the Bears, but give him more of a little bit more teamwork there. Give him maybe LaShawn McCoy for a quarter and a half. Give him a little bit more help on the offensive line. Maybe have some cohesion, some consistency, run 4 or 5 different drills and all the rest. Here's the thing. You've got to, if you're going to play a guy, you got to put him in the best possible situation, and I don't think that the Bills did that in that preseason game. Okay, so Josh Allen had growing pains. Okay, so what does that mean? That he can't play football? The guy hasn't even cracked a game yet in the regular season. This is his first game against a real pressure cooker blitzing defense. This is a Geno Atkins-led Bengals defense that is one of the hardest hitting defenses in the National Football League. This is a team that has had speedy linebackers and a terrific corner unit and defensive backs who can run like the wind. To me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're going to put Josh Allen in that situation, you're going to allow him the week prep and to kind of feel like this is a regular season situation. How are you going to react to it and all the rest? Well, look, part of that is on you. Part of that is supplying him with protection. Part of that is supplying him with consistency. Part of that is supplying him with a superstar player. This is a completely irresponsible situation that the Bills were in against the Cincinnati Bengals. In fact, it reminded me a little bit of the old days. It reminded me a little bit of the clowns that they've had as head coach or general manager. I mean, it reminded me of like a Chan Gailey kind of move. It reminded me of a Dick Duran kind of move. It reminded me of a Rex Ryan kind of move. It reminded me of a Mike Mularkey kind of move. And I think Sean McDermott is definitely the guy, and I think he's a guy who's way beyond those buffoons. But he looked like those guys over the course of that game when you take a look at the way the Bills were not really engineered in terms of the offensive line and helping and protecting Josh Allen. So I think all systems should still be go for Josh Allen. I think, again, with Allen struggling in a preseason game, That was his first test against a real blitz-happy defense and a real physical, really good, speedy defense. And that was a better defense by far than Carolina, by far, than Cleveland for all of the Buffalo Bills on the offense. Not just Josh Allen, but the offensive linemen and all the rest. Everybody who played against other defenses, that defense was easily the best of the three in the preseason. And I will also tell you this. There have been other quarterbacks who have struggled, okay, in the beginning. Now, I'm not saying Troy Aikman's going to be. I'm not saying Josh Allen's going to be Troy Aikman. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is going to be Joe Montana. I'm not going to say that Josh Allen is going to be, multiple other players who have gone into Canton as Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But there have been struggles for guys early in their NFL careers. I mean, are we so just what have you done for me lately in today's society to not remember? It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't in the Stone Ages when Troy Aikman was quarterbacking the Dallas Cowboys, when Troy Aikman was going up against those defenses with a weak offensive line. He was a complete and utter mess. He couldn't check people down. He couldn't read the blitz from the blind side. He couldn't do anything. And that became a major problem for him mentally. He threw a ton of interceptions. He put the ball in the air against double teams. I mean, there were a million things that Aikman did early where he didn't look good. Jim Kelly had a lot of struggles. In Buffalo, after the USFL days and all the rest, he had some problems. When did the Bills get good? Well, that's when they started drafting guys, when they started drafting players around them. When you bring in Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed, you bring in James Lofton, you get the line with guys like Howard House Baylor, and you get Will Wolford, and you get Kent Hall, and you get tight ends like Keith McKellar and Pete Metzlars. And, of course, you've got the defense with Bruce Smith, Spider-Man Taylor, and Cornelius Bennett and all the rest. I mean, that's when Jim Kelly really became Jim Kelly. He was developing his skills. He was getting better. He was getting older. He was getting more mature in terms of learning the offense, the command of it, handling the general manager position of being a quarterback in the NFL. But that's half of it. If you take this thing at 100%, 50% is the quarterback and how he develops and how he handles everything on his side. That's where a lot of people question Baker Mayfield, of course, and that's why Johnny Manziel didn't last in the NFL and all that, because it can either happen to you on or off the field. The other half is, look, if you've drafted a guy and you've bought into him, then you've got to put him in the best possible situation, and I just thought that the Bills didn't do that against the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, awesome to chat with you here today from the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. We are here, a nice little crowd here for a Tuesday afternoon as we record this video. 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley on Facebook Live, IGTV. I should say just Facebook, IGTV, and of course, YouTube. And you can hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, Mike L Sports 1979 on Snapchat and Instagram. Be sure to visit pinstripepassion.com for my Yankees and baseball commentary as well. And you got to get to the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. Lunch, dinner, awesome time. You can come bet on all the ponies. Saratoga Racetrack, of course, they'll have all the races on from Saratoga every day but Dark Tuesday, and get ready for the last weekend, Labor Day weekend. I was there over the weekend for the Travers. It was awesome. There were a lot of people I heard who came out to the Phoenix OTB, which you need to do as well. Come here for lunch, come here for dinner after work, whatever the case may be. Grab a couple of cold brews with your buddies and hang out at the Phoenix OTB. It is a wonderful place to be, and we really appreciate the Phoenix Sports Restaurant and their support. And again, you have a meal, you go over, you place a bet. You come back over, you grab a brew, you go back and place a bet. It's really terrific. Phoenix Sports Restaurant, Phoenix OTB, the Phoenix Sports Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter, which you can download my podcast via that platter on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music. 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley. Thanks for watching. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.